My name is Makai Green, and you're listening to The Simple Idea, a podcast about taking action on the things that matter to you. In each episode, you get to hear from people across the world discuss how they acted on their simple idea and tackled projects that gave them personal fulfillment. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey everyone, it's me again. No guest this week, but I'll get to that in just a moment. Today I want to talk to you guys about practicing growth mindset. And this is a term that I just recently became familiar with, although I have been sort of practicing it a few months prior, or I guess really the past year. But I don't know, I think it's a really cool term and a really cool concept that a lot more people should adopt, and it'll make you feel better about some of the things that you have going on in your life, especially when you're tackling new projects or trying new things. So I'll kind of just go over some of the projects I've been working on. And this episode won't be too long. It'll just be a quick little blurb of some of the stuff that's been on my head. Next week we'll have some more guests, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But, back to the projects. So I've been working on a few projects, and let's say rewind a few months. I was a bit hesitant to start some of these projects just because, I didn't really feel qualified to do it, or to start them, or to be any good at it. And I think it's important to realize that with most things you do, you're not going to be a natural right off the bat. So I guess in my head, I'm thinking, if I'm not going to be good, what's the point of trying? But you really don't know how far your abilities can go until you put them to the test. And anything you're ever going to participate in or try to do, there's going to be some challenge in some shape or form. So it just depends on where you max out when taking that challenge. So for me to not even try to fully even attack it once and just think about how I'm bad at it, that's the opposite of growth mindset. So what I've been doing the past few weeks and months, I guess at this point, is trying a few different things that I never really thought to do, or I have tried and I just gave up immediately. So one is HTML and CSS, so a little bit of coding stuff. Not coding, but, in that realm. And then I'm also focusing on YouTube, and as of, I think a few days ago, I decided to start focusing on film photography. I have a little bit of a background in photography, nothing too serious, but, I have some working knowledge of photographic techniques and whatnot. So I'm like, you know what? I know how to use a camera, or at least I know how to use a digital camera. Let me try to use a film camera, because that part of photography has always appealed to me. Although there's a lot to know, and there's a lot more that goes into it, especially when it comes to developing film, or just lens choices, and so many different things, like the type of film that you need to buy. There's so many different things that go into it. And from somebody who's never experienced any of it, when I look at this and I see there's all these different steps that I need to take just to get one photograph, I'm like, oh, this is a bit of a turnoff, because it's going to take a while before I'm any good at it, so why even try? But I think that's the wrong mindset to take. I think we have to adopt a growth mindset and try to do things that are out of our comfort zone, do things that we are interested in doing, and expect to fail, but fail upwards. Because no matter how many times you fail, eventually you're going to see a breakthrough that takes you to the next level that you need to be at. So that's what I've been doing the past few weeks and months, trying new things, just getting out of my comfort zone, which is something that every time I do, I normally see pretty decent results. So I don't know, it's really awesome. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. But yeah, ultimately I was really just expecting to fail a lot before I see any results, and that's been the case so far with all three things that I've been doing. With YouTube specifically, I've attempted to record YouTube videos for the past year, and every time I'm just I don't have a voice for YouTube. My camera mannerism is just off. I just don't feel comfortable on camera. So I've been looking into different tactics to get myself more comfortable, and I have to remember that I can edit out any mistakes that I make. So that's something that's been kind of propelling me forward a little bit. But the more I do it, the more comfortable I'll be in front of the camera. And same with film photography. The more I do it, the more I develop my own film, the more I go out and shoot, the more I'll understand the tools that I'm using. So really, it just comes with patience. It comes with time. It comes with really attitude, and all these different things combined together. If you do anything long enough, eventually you'll get good at it. So that's the mindset that I've been kind of holding on to with this whole growth mindset thing. I encourage you to adopt it. And this episode is probably very rambly and all over the place, as I typically am. But just try to ignore that. I think you guys get the message that I'm trying to share here. But yeah, growth mindset, practice it. Try to implement it into one thing that you're doing, even if it's something small, such as, maybe you want to lose some weight, but you don't know where to start. Really, the first start is to just maybe clean up your diet a little bit and maybe start going for walks after you eat. Something as small as that. It won't be, immediate. You won't see immediate changes, but over time, the more confident you get, the more comfortable you get, you'll see improvements and you'll see steps of progression. So I think it's important to just find a place to start. And even if you fail continuously, eventually you're going to see a breakthrough. So I highly encourage you to implement it in one area of your life, whether it's for some type of creative venture or if it's, maybe you don't think you're qualified for a job, get qualified. What do you have to do? Growth mindset. Remember, you need to fail forward. That's the only way that you're ever going to get better at anything. And if you try hard enough, you'll break through whatever barrier it is that's holding you down at the moment. So that's kind of growth mindset. This is going to be a very quick episode. I just want to share a few thoughts on my head. And I want to talk about some of the guests that I have coming on, hopefully, if schedules work out, over the next few weeks. So next week we'll definitely have a new guest for next Friday's episode, and possibly another one that will be pre-recorded for the following week, depending on how things work out. And then I also have to catch back up with a few other people I reached out to about coming onto the podcast, and I might have some friends coming on too. So we'll see how everything works out, but just stay tuned for that. As of now, the podcast actually has 2 social media platforms right now we're active on. So we have we have Twitter and we have Instagram. So if you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it at @TSimpleIdea, and I'll link all this in the description. You can stay up to date with new guests, new episodes, news that pertains to the podcast. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not too much stuff to really share this week. Just a few little, pieces of what I would consider to be inspirational information to share with you guys. Hopefully you're able to implement it. And as for the podcast, where to follow it, once again, it's at @TSimpleIdea on Twitter and Instagram. Those are the only platforms that I'm on right now. But just stay up to date with news through there. And things are slowly coming together. We're seeing some progression with the show, some consistency. Like I said before, the goal is to have one new episode every week for the entire duration of 2020. And so far, we're on a pretty good track. And we're actually retaining a decent amount of our viewers. Good things are happening, so let's keep it up, I guess. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Peace.